This is Brenton Garen for the Beverly Hills Courier. I'm joined here with Mayor Jimmy Delshad, whose term comes to an end on March 22nd. Jimmy, how do you feel about your time coming to an end?
Well, when it's time to leave, it's always bittersweet. I think I'm going to miss being a mayor because of so many wonderful things that Beverly Hills has to offer to its mayor.
What would you say has been your greatest achievement?
I think one of my greatest achievements in this past year as a second-time mayor was something that I wanted to do all along, and that was to refresh the brand of Beverly Hills. I felt anything that's worth having is worth celebrating. And if you want to keep the brand, you have to keep refreshing it. So what I have started doing in this last year was doing everything possible to celebrate what's good about Beverly Hills. From celebration of a 90210 Taste of Beverly Hills, which was the most successful event in the history of Beverly Hills for the first time event, to perfumes of Beverly Hills, to having snow on Rodeo Drive, and so many other events that we did. We had Beverly Hills Film Festival and so many others, and fashion. So I feel a brand of Beverly Hills is much higher, and it's worth it. And what we've created for Beverly Hills will pay off. And our numbers show already that visitors have come to Beverly Hills much more last year. And the biggest increase in our income was in our taxes on room tax, which comes from visitors that stay in our hotels and spend money all over.
What would you say has been your biggest highlight of 2010?
I think the highlight was 90210, the night that we had so many stars visiting Beverly Hills, and cameras watching and reporting, helicopters all over reporting what Beverly Hills was doing. And we were written about, and other cities are trying to copy what we have done, and they're trying to celebrate their zip code. I think to me that was a highlight of something that I had created and lived through it, but also it was very important to win a trophy on our float on a New Year's Day.
What has been some of the biggest challenges that you've had to overcome?
I think the biggest challenge for the last year was to meet our requirement, the financial requirement that we have to be a balanced budget, and at the same time keep the morale high, keep the people energized, keep the employees satisfied, and not cut any services to the city. And I think we were able to accomplish that. I'm going to be leaving the office with surplus in our budget. And thank God that we have created a program in managing the budget that's been an envy of other cities, and they are trying to copy us in terms of dealing with our insurance for our employees going forward. We were able to save hundreds of millions of dollars going forward by just managing and playing the smart government.
How would you say this term is different to your first term as mayor in 2007?
I think the second term as the mayor was quite different than the first one. The first one, I was learning my way, how to do things. And the second term as the mayor, I learned how to delegate more. And I was able to delegate more and then concentrate on what I call as important and not as urgent. A lot of times we deal with urgent things and we let the important things go away. But the important things was branding and all that. So I concentrated on the bigger picture, and I let others, especially my Vice Mayor Brucker and others on the city council, support and take on the charge of helping me out with the rest of the programs.
What would you say that you attribute your success to?
I can attribute my success to two things. Something that has run all my life. and that's having passion for something. And my passion for doing a good job, passion for doing a superb job of not for my caliber but others to look at me and say he was a good mayor, that he was a good contributor. And that passion kept me going 24 hours a day, never slowed down. And the other one that I contribute to is having a lot of persistence in what I wanted to do. An example of it was when I wanted to celebrate 90210 and Taste of Beverly Hills. No one on the city council thought I would be successful doing it in that time of a year, and no one thought there would be a successful program. But I had the passion for it, and I really persisted, raised all the money from the community, so the city council didn't have to pay much, and then we were able to have a most wonderful program.
And what legacy do you think you've left on the city?
I think the legacy I will leave for the city is that the city is better off having Jimmy as a mayor, not once but twice. That the city is also fortunate to have somebody like that, even though Jimmy is much more fortunate to be in Beverly Hills. And I want to leave this legacy that everything is possible in Beverly Hills and in America. So if I could come and do it, anybody else can come and do the same thing.
Why did you want to be on the city council all those years ago?
What made me wanting to be on the city council was when I looked around 8-9 years ago, I saw Beverly Hills was really relying on its name and not doing anything to promote it. And I said, the way to do that is to bring it to the 21st century. And I came up with the idea that I need to create a new infrastructure. And it wasn't a normal infrastructure. I wanted a digital infrastructure. I wanted the city to be based on new technologies so that we could go forward. And I coined the name Smart City. And this is the first time in history of Beverly Hills that we have a tagline, the Smart City.
How much do you think the city has changed in the past 8 years?
I think the city has changed enormously. The city, when I first wanted to run for the city council, nobody gave me a second thought that I would even win. They never thought I could even run, much less win. Here is 8 years later. During my election to the city council, I've had 3-4 other minorities run for the city council, and that shows that not only people are willing to do that, the city is accepting, city is welcoming, and city is saying, come on and contribute, we welcome you.
How would you say this term is different to your first term as mayor in 2007?
I think the second term as the mayor was quite different than the first one. The first one, I was learning my way, how to do things. And the second term as the mayor, I learned how to delegate more. And I was able to delegate more and then concentrate on what I call as important and not as urgent. A lot of times we deal with urgent things and we let the important things go away. But the important things was branding and all that. So I concentrated on the bigger picture, and I let others, especially my Vice Mayor Brucker and others on the city council, support and take on the charge of helping me out with the rest of the programs.
What would you say you're going to miss most about not being on the city council?
I think what I will miss more is to be able to promote more of Beverly Hills. Really, Beverly Hills needs to be promoted more. We have so much competition from all over the, not only the country, but around our communities around us. And if we don't promote Beverly Hills, they will take our edges away. We will be left with a big name, but nothing to show for it.
And Jimmy, what's next for you now?
What is next for me is really to pay a little bit more attention to my family. For 8 years, my wife has given up a lot. Without me going all over and not being there, even on the weekends, constantly going around and representing the city. So what's for me is to spend a little bit more time with my family, spending some time on the business side, and hopefully waiting for another opportunity to show up. Maybe there will be some other opportunities, higher offices, some other place. I will not reject them.
Thank you, Jimmy, so much for your time. We appreciate it, and good luck with everything in the future.